Recording now, I think. Yeah, sure. Right. Okay, I'll do the intro. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the second episode of Off the Battlefield, which is our bi-weekly podcast for the Smash2K, which is basically where we're going to talk about the goings-on of the UK Smash scene in the ways of tournament results, news, up-and-coming events, and basic Smash talk in general. My name is Skrull from Newcastle.
I'm Lorenzo from London.
And this week we are very happy to have two guests, so double the fun, and they're both from the Midlands. So Ed, would you like to introduce yourself first, mate?
Yeah, hey, Ed here. All you know is as Kone anyway. Long-standing member of community, TO Supreme. I like that bit. Over to Carlton.
Hi, I'm Carlton Gaunt, Blood Bowler, as you may know me, or The Gentleman.
The Gentleman, nice. All right.
I like it.
So first and foremost, we're going to go through some tournament results. So what have we got first on the agenda? Got Meltdown Circuit. Carlton, do you want... no, not Carlton. Lorenzo, do you want to talk about that first, mate?
Yeah. The last week marked our first melee tournament at Meltdown, which was a proper as an official tournament with a prize pot and an entry fee and coins and all the rest of it. And yeah, it was a pretty good tournament. I had a decent turnout, 21 entrants, which was all right.
Nice.
And we had, some big names in attendance. Prof turned up, VWS Professor Pro, who, he took the whole thing. And, along with, Swizzy was there, Vincent Bialtarog was there, I think Luigi Mitsu eventually turned up, and eventually managed to pay.
Eventually it's his home.
Yes, it was, it was a very good tournament though. We had there was some great matches, some good standard of play, a couple of newcomers who did alright as well. It was good. It was a good tournament. So yeah, I enjoyed it.
And no surprise that Prof took first then. No surprise.
No, Prof was Prof is in a league of his own. I mean, in terms of the top three results, we had VWS Professor Pro, and followed by Swizzy and then BR Tarog. Now, before I go to Prof, I'd like to say, just basically, I'd like to talk a little bit first about 2 and 3, because this was where I think the most interesting stuff of the tournament happened, because Swizzy, long-standing member of the scene, Ganondorf main, fantastic player, and he and Vincent had a couple of very good sets, actually. Like, his sets against Prof in winners finals, and then in grand finals weren't massively close, to be honest. He's always had trouble with the Spacies matchup. It's not a good one for Ganondorf, and Prof was... He was fairly all over him. Like, it wasn't very particularly close at all. But playing Vincent was great. I mean, in losers finals, Swizzy got him 3-0, which was brilliant. But Vince was salty, man. He was salty. So before
You're just gonna put him on blast like that?
No, dude. No. He instantly called him out for a £10 money match.
Wow.
Straight out off the bat. Like, that was before we did grand finals. We ran this best money match.
Are we talking about Vincent being salty?
Yep.
Colin, can you remember a scene from Heir to the Throne?
I remember it like it was yesterday. It's a singles match against Brado. I think it was either round 1 or round 2 amateur bracket. And Brado won the match. Brado playing Jigglypuff against BR Tarol's Sheik. It was a 3-stock. And, well, I didn't know it was that decisive.
Yeah.
But, yeah, at the end of it, both of them unplugged their controllers. Vincent stood up immediately, went to walk away. Brad stood up, stuck his hand out and asked him to shake it repeatedly, and Vincent just refused.
He was like, no.
Very withdrawn, wouldn't do it, wouldn't look him in the eye.
He was not happy.
Yeah, so we're in the Midlands of the saltiness.
Yeah, basically what, in terms of Meltdown, like, they ran a running match back, which ended 3-1 in Swizzy's favour. And, Swizzy basically Vince said to him after losers finals, he said, "I was beating you in the neutral the entire time," and Swizzy was like, "Well, I beat you 3-0." So,
Oh.
Wait,
hang on. I assume Swizzy was still going with Ganon.
Yeah.
And,
Yes, of course.
I assume Vincent was going with Sheik, right?
Yep.
Because that's a really good matchup for Sheik, unless I'm very mistaken.
I think so. I mean, Swizzy is very good at that matchup. Like, he's always had Jolteon's number as well.
Oh, fair enough. I guess if you've got a lot of practice in it,
he's got a lot of Sheik practice, and he knows his chain grabs very well. So I mean, I wasn't surprised to see it go that way. But hey, he made a decent amount of money that evening, considering the money match as well. So yeah, good on him. Otherwise, I mean, the tournament, like, you know, as I said, like, there was, you know, just some strong competition. Like King NDJ was there as well. He put on a good showing. Lost to Vincent, but you know, it was a good set. Who else was there? It was just Luigi Mitsu, of course, putting on most of the hilarity of the tournament by basically turning up just as I was about to DQ him for being late, and he didn't have any money. So you know, I was just like, Mitsu, you got to give me the entry fee before you go. He's like, I don't have any money. I was like, well, can you go get some mat? He's like, I don't have a card either. I don't know why.
From my point of view there, Lorenzo, I wouldn't have allowed him to enter.
I know.
From experience with tournaments, you've got to set out your expectations quite early on.
Yeah.
Otherwise, as time goes on and the scene grows, the tournament series grows, then people just think that as a TO they can push the boundaries a bit further with you. So I'd always say early on, foot down, let people know where you stand.
Yeah, next time I probably will do that. Thank you for that, Ed. I mean, basically, he was like, I'll PayPal you the money. I was like, you're gonna
PayPal. If he did that.
Yeah, I know. I mean, he was like, you're gonna PayPal me £2, Mitsu. Okay. In the end, he did. He went and sold a PM setup and paid me with it.
He just handed a Wii to someone like, here, can you give me the money up?
No, yeah, genuinely, like.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
He just did it, yeah. We were like, we're just not surprised by any of it. It was.
That's too funny.
It was hilarious.
Oh
and in the end, yeah, I think I'm trying to remember his placing actually. If I just.
Luigi Mitsu took a meltdown.
Yeah, he took.
I haven't been too involved with the backroom action at the moment, Lorenzo. Just work's been pretty full on at the moment. Am I right in thinking that this was the first meltdown tournament that was actually coin worthy?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah. Which I don't know if we can go sidetrack a little bit here and have a bit of discussion regarding that.
Go for it.
In terms of, I know potentially that it's a bit of a hot potato that the actual meltdown series, and not just the meltdown series, a few of the series have sort of been brought into question before in the past. Just whether it should be coin worthy.
Yeah, and I certainly understand where everyone's coming from with that, to be honest, because it is basically it does certainly put some advantage on the players who are in the more dense areas and can get out to these, you know, bi-weeklies and so on. I mean, I basically, I don't know. I mean, I set out by doing everything that I was told to do to make it a coin-worthy tournament.
Yeah.
And there was certainly some talk in the background about whether it should be allowed or not.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily saying, I don't know what Colton or Henry feel here, I'm not necessarily saying it shouldn't be, but I think it's quite an interesting discussion to have between us.
It is, yeah. I mean, I can go by the fact that technically for each game it's a monthly. Which is why it's not hugely basically, I mean, the reason I think I've been allowed to do it is because it's not particularly frequent in terms of it's a bi-weekly, but it's alternating games, so it's only a monthly for each game, and the turnout's not huge, and we're not going to be being given a large amount of coins really. So any placing at a major tournament will override, you know, will basically grant a lot more coins than just sort of constant placings at small tournaments like this.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I feel on this as well, because this has happened with NEC, which is what we have up here in Newcastle. You know, we have a monthly tournament with both Melee and PM, and we have, and, you know, we.
What day they normally run on, Henry?
They normally run on Sundays, normally.
Sundays. And Lorenzo, Lawrence, when do yours normally run?
Wednesday nights is Meltdown.
Yeah, see, I think personally, I don't know where Carlton feels with this, but I think that's me. I never saw an issue in terms of Meltdown or other events being non-con worthy for what you're trying to run. But I guess it being a Wednesday night compared to a Saturday or Sunday, it restricts anyone outside of that area.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's maybe, I don't know, in the future, it could become something that we discuss as part of the criteria. Because obviously it restricts it to just London in that sense, which other tournaments don't do.
Yes. No. It's very true that, like, it's pretty hard for anyone to come out on a Wednesday night. Like, it's not really feasible. So,
or I guess they have to show some true dedication to the cause.
Yeah, absolutely. Exactly. It's not going to be, it's not going to be happening very regularly. Like, well, our the people who come are all Londoners, and we're not often to see like someone else there. I mean, the only times I've really had like a lot of, you know, the Southampton lot have come to Meltdown once or twice in the past, but that's
pretty cool.
But that was literally only because it was the weekend. It was just before air. That was why. So, you know, it's just down to it's down to what I mean. I honestly I didn't push for it much, actually. Really, it was just like Tom said. Well, I don't seem to have a problem with it, and I mean, I think it's still up to debate, actually, yeah, for sure. Which is why I mean, when we go into, you know, upcoming tournaments, the next week is our next PM tournament, and I haven't pushed for coins, and I haven't actually said outright that it will be a coin-worthy tournament yet, because I'm not entirely sure if it will be, but we'll see. Like,
with the advertising, with you letting people know it happens, assuming the turnout is 16 plus, it should be. I've got no issue at all with it receiving coins at the moment. We're going to have to see how that affects the coin rankings at the end of the season, and if it inspires similar things like in other parts of the country. As you said, like the Northeast Championships, we have the South Coast Regionals popping up. My question and thought on this was going to be, you had Meltdown running as a weekly series before this circuit.
Yeah.
What was the thought behind the decision to make it a more official tournament series?
I think.
And I guess sorry, just jump in there, Lawrence. Just I think understanding where Carlton's coming from there is that we currently have in the Midlands a bi-weekly event going on called Bar Fights. Similar sort of idea. It's a casual get-together every 2 weeks, organised by Callum Jenny and Callum Brooks, so Calzum and a few others. But at the moment, we're sort of lurching towards keeping that a casual event. But we could be looking at a similar situation where it could become more of a Meltdown in terms of there could be regular tournaments there. And Midland Smashers at the moment having that discussion. Do we keep it casual or do we go more formal?
Yeah, and I think I'd encourage you guys to do so. The reason we can do it as an official series is because it is bi-weekly, and though Meltdown is always a weekly thing, like it's just the Meltdown itself is an esports bar, and we're just allowed, like, they consider it's basically Smash and Hearthstone night on a Wednesday night, so we're always allowed to go there and play. And so, you know, for longer than I've been TOing it or anything, like, it's been going on longer than I've been in the scene, this idea of people going down on Wednesday nights to play. And I mean, we did tournaments on occasion when people wanted it to. Like, we were never running tournaments weekly. We occasionally ran tournaments maybe every month or so, just for fun.
Sorry to hop in there, Lawrence. Is it straight bracket, DE bracket, or are there pools into bracket?
When I run them, I run double in bracket because it's the only way to get everything done in time.
Yeah, understandable. And that's something we've discussed as well, is the timing of it. Bar fights begins at about 7 o'clock, Carlton, is that right?
Yeah, 7 o'clock, most people are there, most setups are available. Runs till about 10:30.
Okay, so you could only do D bracket, really.
Exactly.
In that sense, Lawrence, do you have are there any friendly setups knocking about, or is it just setups there purely for that tournament?
We usually do, providing people bring them. You see, the setups are all provided by the players, and since it's only one game at a time, like, people are welcome to set up the other game. And what the thing is, once the tournament starts, I mean, the thing is, Meltdown opens at 5, so there's friendlies until the tournament starts. Then I commandeer all of the setups for the particular game to run bracket. Once the bracket thins out a bit, then people can start playing friendlies again. But that's
the situation that we have with NEC, because we have, obviously NEC is a monthly thing. We dedicate one specific day to it, because for the longest time before the NE Smash scene really existed, we did still have, because there were always weeklies at weekly fighting game things that happened at our venue that we have for NEC, but were just fighting game things until NE Smash sort of came in and sort of invaded a bit, and then we sort of grew our scene out there, having weeklies there, and we didn't really have a true tournament series until DCJ stepped up, became the TO of our region, and started hosting these NEC events. And then it sort of grew and grew until we were having our dedicated day. We have the whole venue dedicated to it. We have pools leading into the top 8 bracket, and we have doubles, and we have both games, and it's this whole sort of event thing. We always try and accommodate for both melee and PM friendlies as much as we possibly can. But if those setups do need to be used for tournament, we will shift people off and have them go play on there.
Yeah, see, I think from our point of view at the moment, and obviously Carlton can say if he agrees with this, but I know we've had a chat, and at the moment we prefer to try to keep bar fights as a casual event. In the Midlands, from about, I think, October 2013 through to Edge of Throne, we had a monthly tournament every month. And we're basically looking at the moment, if bar fights went to be more formal, had a DE bracket, my personal argument is most of the time the setup's there because it's a smaller event, there's less people bringing TVs and bringing setups. It means that most of the setups are going to be just for the actual tournament. And our worry is that the Midlands scene has grew massively over the last year, but to the point now that if we want to get new blood in, new blood need that casual area. They need to be able to play games in a manner where they can play as many people as possible and really grow as Smash players. If we go down the formal route, they're going to end up going 2 and out most of the time at these events. And to us, these events should stay casual bar fights so that it gives them that area, that environment where they can actually play as much as possible. And then our monthly tournaments would be for them to actually compete at, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's the same premise as Meltdown. It's just that we can run it. Basically, Meltdown is a weekly thing, but it's casuals and tournament alternating every week.
Yeah, we still try in Newcastle to encourage people to come down to G4G, which is our venue for our NEC, and we still encourage the Friday and the Saturday sessions where we just all come down, play a few games, learn things. I've gone down there so many times just to practice and play. And it's a good environment as well, because everybody's super friendly, and we're getting more and more room as the NE Smash scene and the NE fighting game scene is just developing. And over the past 8 months, it's insane how much we've developed to the point where we are having the full venue to ourselves, which is great.
Yeah. See, I just want to keep, personally keep bar fights as casual as possible so that we retain new players. Otherwise, you'll find that the bracket's just largely, just the players that are already established in the Midlands getting more tournament practice and experience, which is good, but letting them newer players, less game time, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, I think it's essential to be as welcoming and open to newer players if you're doing regional areas.
That is probably the most, in my view, that's the most important thing, because if your scene isn't expanding and it just stays stagnant with the same people winning this all the time and everybody's sort of progressing, you're not really helping, the wider picture, if you will. You're not helping more people get into Smash and get into the whole sort of idea of Smash as a competitive environment.
Yeah, this is another of the reasons why I run HOH as well. Just because I mean, that's also just a weekly fest, so anyone is welcome to come to that and play in London, which is another way for people to, get into the community in London, which is basically between Meltdown and that, the community is we're still steady getting new people in, which is very nice in London.
Yeah,
so yeah.
What we need.
Anyway, segueing on from the idea of scenes and monthlies, we go into NEC 8, which happened up here in Newcastle this past month, and the only way I can describe this tournament was as Bizarro tournament, because we really saw people who had been putting in so much work and effort in both games, Project M and Melee, coming out of the woodwork, like I described the last podcast we had, when I said we were still having people coming out of the woodworks, establishing themselves as strong players in both games. And we definitely saw this, first and foremost, in the Melee bracket, in the Melee results, which look so much different to how a lot of other Melee results have looked when we've had either TFU or DDiz at the top, and then we've maybe had either TFU or Greengrocer second, and then someone placing third. However, this time, in third we had Sui, who is, I think, one of the strongest Marths, I think. And he's one of the people in the Northeast scene who has developed as a player to the point where he has more confidence in himself, and I think that's a great thing to see, especially in that's what I love about Smash. You're not only developing your skills as a player, but as a person as well. And I know that sounds really cheesy, but it's true. Like, we've seen him develop as this person who's more confident in himself, and I really love seeing that confidence in Sui whenever I see him. Second, we had myself, UA Skrull, which it was very surreal being in Grand Finals and on the other side of the commentary table for it. And it felt really good, and I'm very proud of myself for placing there, because I had a very tight game with Sui. So shout-outs to Lee for that, because he had me on tiltless in the entire game, but I just managed to pull it through. And of course TFU, Tyrant FU, keeping his place first in Melee, not moving anywhere for a while. But Melee was very, very good, because for a long time we were a very PM-orientated region, because we mostly just had people coming in with PM, because it's a sort of, I guess, I don't want to say it's easy to get into, but I'm saying that the ease of like learning it isn't as large of skill gap as Melee is. But speaking of which, in learning PM, we had Jexel placing third. Jexel being a very strong Mario player, coming from a more majoritively fighting game background, but beat some amazing players like Sir Aaron just to get third, and had a very, very good match with DCJ, who placed second, and Diabound, who placed first. And overall, this tournament was very, very good, I think, for the NE Smash team, because it showed, with myself placing second and Jexel placing third in PM, it showed that hard work does pay off, because I'm gonna just blow my own trumpet here for a second. I have worked my arse off to get to where I did there. I worked so damn hard over the past 6 months. Like, I remember when I first picked up ICs, I got double limbed at NEC 3, I think, by, first off, somebody who came in playing Falco, who just picked up Falco, and I got sent to losers by him, and I got four-socked by Sui. And now to see how my hard work has paid off, it feels great. And that's I think that really has encouraged our scene as a whole to sort of develop and to become better players as a whole. Yeah, so that's my little happiness over NEC 8, I guess.
Yeah, well done, man.
Nicely done. Congrats on your result.
Good on you.
Also, can I just say, I beat a Peach to get into losers finals. Greengrocer, I beat Greengrocer, and I've struggled with Peach my entire career with ICs, because I think it's one of IC's worst matchups. So I'm just happy that I didn't have to John if I lost. I only lost because it was Peach. I won because I practiced against that matchup. Anyway, let's.
Win or lose, no Johns, but still, yeah. Congratulations on the result. Well done.
Cheers, dude. Anyway, so moving on to another event that occurred down south, which was Smash or DI 3. I wish I could have gone to this, because it sounds like it was an amazing tournament. But Lorenzo, do you want to? Oh, sorry, Ed. What do you want to say?
No, I was just going to say that out of all the tournament series that I've gone on in the UK, it is the only one really at the moment that I've not got to, that I'd really like to get to. I've heard a lot of good things coming from Peter Willis running them, and I'd like to get down there. So it'd be nice to hear from Lorenzo and see how it went.
Yeah, it was a brilliant tournament. I mean, shoutouts to Pete Inertia. I've managed to get to all three, which is very nice because I mean it's not too hard for me living in London, but it's a wonderful tournament, and you know all the top names are there. Like obviously the first one we had Armada there even, which was brilliant, but this time just you know everyone from the UK scene, as in like the top five are all there. A lot of, not everyone, but a lot of good of the top UK players were there.
What I like as well is that it seemed to cover all bases. Like a lot, like people from all sorts of regions were coming down to London just for this one event. Like I know we sent DCJ down as our sort of rep to go play, do well, please.
It still feels a very southern event though.
Oh yeah,
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the ones where I know at the moment I'm hoping that I was hoping for this one, but it hasn't worked out with my commitments at work. But I'm hoping for the next one we can get a good lot of Midlands down there, like we did for KOTN. Try to get 3 or 4 cars there, because at the moment our Midlands shown is sort of by and large represented by Jin, Howe, and Wills, and it'd be nice to get a few more of us down there in the future.
Yeah, no, I Jin, Howe, Wills, Brado was there as well. Trying to remember who else was there from the Midlands.
Rash Attack.
Rash Attack was there from the Midlands. Yeah, I played him. I played him and Brado. No, it was a great tournament. I mean, I really enjoyed it. Like, I think it's possibly one of the first tournaments I've played at where I personally placed about as well as I probably ought to have done, which just slightly below where I think I could have gotten, which is I was quite pleased about because you know I actually beat some people, which was quite nice. So yeah, that was like I enjoy that personally for that reason, and it was there was some great matches. I mean, I think one of the best was was actually a game between Shufu and Biartarog again, which was pretty hype because I mean, shouts to Shufu.
Was that in the pool stage?
That was Pool's Melee, yes.
Yeah,
and it was pretty brilliant. I'm sadly I couldn't watch much of it because I was called to play PM games at the time, but I got to see a little bit and I got to hear a lot because there was a lot of shouting because Vince picked Peach on him and was just like, yeah, I'll jank him out with Peach, and Shifu beat him. And then he had to pull his.
That's lame though. It's lame, isn't it?
Yeah.
Go on the Peach.
Yeah,
picking because you think it's an automatic advantage.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't tell you how many people in the Northeast have been like, "Oh, Henry hates a Peach matchup. Select Peach." And I just look at them and go, "Really? This is what you're doing now? Come on."
Quite interesting. I'm just having a look at the bracket here, seeing how things panned out. And am I right in thinking that Bia Tarwog didn't actually make it through bracket here?
No, he got beaten. He got beaten by Shufu in pools, so Shufu made it out of first round pools in first seed, which was very well done to him.
Yeah, he didn't make it through to the last 16 though, by the looks of it.
No, he was beaten by Frenzy, I think, at one point.
Frenzy?
Yeah.
Okay, coming up.
Yeah,
he's there.
Absolutely. No, it was a stacked tournament. Like a lot of, I mean, a fair few people I think who could well have, in other tournaments would have made top placings didn't make it through, like to bracket. I mean, Decacia didn't make it to bracket. He was in my pool and we were both beaten by Jomo.
Just looking at it here, actually, just looking at the bracket, picking out a few matches that look good. Looks like Prof and VA went 3-2 in the winner's side.
Yes, that was that was a very good game. Like they did I see that? I'm not sure if I did. Like I saw no, I didn't see them playing winners. I saw VA play losers finals with Fuzzy. I didn't see them play winners.
Yeah. Looks close. And then I'll pick out a couple other ones just out of interest. We've got Jelly and Jin went 2-1. Death Gaze and Wills went 2-1 in Death Gaze's favour and Jelly's favour.
Yeah, I saw Death Gaze or Wills. We had that. We had that on stream just before I started. Not on stream, on the recording setup just before I started commentating. But I watched it. And yeah, it was a good match.
Wills was on YouTube. Watch the whole thing. Well worth watching.
Yeah. Yeah, nice to see both of them taking a game off Jelly and Death Gazer there. And then interestingly, sort of repeating actions at air, it looks like Will's 2-0'd AD.
He did, yeah. I'm not AD gate kept a bit, I think, but not a lot. Not as much as he could have done. So yeah, no, it was Wheels put on a good showing. Sadly, not in Smash 4, but he put on a good showing in PM and Melee, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, in terms of, if I take up, basically, there was some good stuff if you look at the placings, like, in terms of top 3, Prof took Melee and PM.
Yeah.
He took PM free, like.
It is good to see though, just to keep the sort of Melee side competitive, that he actually did beat Charles 3-0 in Grand Finals.
Yeah.
And 3-2 in the winners finals.
I only saw the winners finals, and because I was commentating it, and it was a really good set, really, really close.
Yeah, the thing is, I would say, like, over my experience in the scene, I've seen many matches between Prof and Charles, and many of them obviously have gone Charles's way. So it's quite interesting now to see that the balance between them is getting much closer.
Yeah, I think that's partially because Charles doesn't really play an awful lot in his spare time. He speedruns various games, whereas I think Prof gets more practice in on a regular basis. If you know.
I also think it might be because I remember hearing that some American players called Prof a PM player, and Prof got quite offended and said he was actually a Melee player. So I think that might be why he's trying to pick himself back up in Melee again.
He told me before he went to Big House that he wanted to give a Melee showing, which sadly didn't really happen. Like he lost to Axe, but Hacks, sorry.
I saw that. That was
his PM showing. Ooh. His PM showing was fantastic.
Oh, of course.
They all know he's amazing at PM now, but he hasn't proven himself in Melee yet. There, I think, sadly, he really wants to. He really wants to. So,
although there is footage of him going to a Melee weekly, I think, in New Jersey. I think this is from a while ago. But I remember seeing this video of him in Grand Finals just running over a lot of American players who were there. I think even one notable player was there called Sensei, who is a 64 and Melee player who's quite old school, and he got and Prof beat him, and I think Alpha Dash also beat him. So I think it's not a massive indication because it was from maybe half a year ago, but even then it's still a sort of indication as to what Prof can do. But
like he is, he's only getting better really. Like he's amazing, but he's only getting his Melee game is only getting better, and his PM game is unreal. Like
completely.
I think if I can jump in here, I think we obviously know where we're at in the UK in terms of Melee in the top 3, and I just thought I'd work down the bracket a little bit because just bringing up here on Challenge, and obviously Lorenzo said this was a stacked tournament, and I'm not quite sure on the numbers, but I've got a feeling there's about 89 entrants in Melee.
Yeah, there were 89 in both Melee and PM.
89, which is terrific. It's a massive tournament, and really hats off to Pete that he ran all this on time. And I'm looking at the top 13 results here, and we've already mentioned a few people. We've mentioned Shifu, and the BR12 didn't make it into the top 13. Two people that I think we should just give a round of applause for here, really. Jomo has made it into the top 13, and as he's one of the Southampton players, but he's largely overlooked. X1, R2, 3 are normally 1 and 2 down there. And Jomo making it into that is pretty impressive, to be honest.
Yeah, no, he was playing really well. I was in his his Wave 2 pool. He destroyed me, and then went on to beat Brado after Brado beat me. Those games were close. I'd like to point that out. I've played Jomo recently. I've seen him play a lot of tournaments. He comes up to the millions quite a lot, and he seems to be on the other side, like you're saying here, Lawrence. Close matches, but he's the one that doesn't come through. But it looks like he's now getting himself on the other side of that argument. He's the one who's winning those 2-1 matchups. Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
Which is cool to see. And just looking at this, Jin. He played Jin 2-1 to Jin, so that was a close game as well. And I guess a lot of us are aware of who Jin now is in the UK scene, especially
Jin to win.
Jin to win.
Yeah, Jin to win, and a year ago he was a no one in the Midlands. He only started playing a year ago, and we're now all aware that I guess in my opinion and others, he's probably one of the up and coming players of the UK scene.
You know what? For a long time, I didn't even think Jin played. I thought he just sat in Smash2K waiting to post something and then just post like yeah, or just like some sarcastic comment, or just like troll comment. I was like waiting for it.
Well, I guess where I'm coming with this in terms of the Jin thing is just right at the start. I played Jin back up in B1. This is October 2013. It was run by Smo, Sam Muscat, who's the guy who got the Smash UK website up and running. He's a prominent member of the Midlands scene and the back room. And anyway, back at up B1, I played Jin, and after that, I said to everyone in the Midlands, Jin is up and coming. He's going to be a real top player in the UK, and he's moving that way. And I'm looking at the results here, and there's another player here that I said exactly the same to about 6 months ago, up B2, and I said it to Carlton, so I'm winking at you here, Carlton, and I said,
I think I know where this is going.
Yeah, you know where it's going, and I said to you, watch Rash Attack. And I said, he's another Jin. He's going to be another top player. Lo and behold, Rash Attack has got top 13 at an 89 melee bracket. And I didn't believe it
until I played him at bar fights.
I told you, man.
Very skilled, very new, but still playing Dark. Made it through 2 rounds of pools at a national. Brilliant. Kudos to the man.
It's impressive.
He plays Doc, does he?
Dr. Man.
Nice, yeah.
Damn, fair enough.
I played him and he beat me in PM in Wave 2.
Yeah, I think he got 17th PM as well, so it's a good showing all around. To someone who is actually not able, due to work and uni commitments, make regular Midland tournaments. So, from his place, and that's pretty good at this point.
Yeah,
fair enough.
Absolutely. So yeah, I mean, well, yeah, there's definitely some up and comers at this tournament because, I mean, if you look at the rest of the top 16, you can recognise every name, and it's most of I'd say most of the it's all the sort of I mean the top 3 in Melee are the top 3.
Yeah, it's been like that for years now, which is the worry. We're all wanting someone else to get in there.
It's going to be a while, yeah.
Yeah, it's still going to be a while.
I think that there are, though, those players in the UK scene, well, in our scene, who I think will, in the coming months or in the coming year, who will advance into that spot. And I think that, with a bit more commitment from everybody, that will happen faster.
It's happening faster, Henry, but what I would say is happening is over the last year and a bit, because of what we've put in place as a community in terms of the coin system, the amount of TOs who are now, like Lorenzo, now hosting regular tournament series, the likes of Inertia himself, it means that with these regular amount of tournaments, this scene has grown massively. And I would say top 3 and even top 4 is still a while off for a lot of players. But the amount of players that are now capable of getting like 5th through to 13th is massive.
Yeah,
and that is where the scene has really improved.
The top 10, I think, the top sort of 5 is, or at least the top is very well established. The top 10, I think, is very much up for contention now.
But see, you go back a year ago, that top 5, the likes of Jelly, Death Gazer, Unreal. I think back to February, I hosted Edentine's Day. And those people were walking over people. You come to Ed for the Throne, Jelly comes back and he struggles a little bit at that tournament. And there's a lot more players now out there who are contesting with those players. They're getting 2-1s. You give that another 6 months and, top 5 through to 13th, even a little bit further, is much closer.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. I agree as well.
Right.
Which,
quickly moving.
Yeah, go on, Henry.
Oh, no. You continue. I was just going to try and segue this, but go for it. Alright, I was just going to try and segue us on into the next result, but if you have something to say, then I'd love to hear it, please.
No, you stroll on.
Can I make a quick just note? Because, I mean, I personally am not a Smash 4 player, and I don't know if any of the rest of you are either.
I've put some time into the game, and I think like I put this on a Facebook post that Sky Williams posted. I put this on my Twitter as well, which you should all be following. Quick plug. But what I said was, I think the thing limiting Smash 4 right now is the 3DS. Like, I know Edge as a TO would prefer, Melee to be the prime focus of the UK, but I think that Smash 4...
It's not so much that, Henry. It's just the difficulty of running so many different games with different
I get you.
And the timing issue. You try to run 3-4 of them with large numbers, it just becomes such a challenge.
And when you've got people like Luigi Mitsu entering all of them, it becomes even more of a challenge.
Yes. You get the Mitsu and Wills effect. It's not the best for a TO.
But I think... again, with Smash 4, I see the problem with the 3DS being, like, the sort of primary problem with the game, and also the Wii U is going to be a bit difficult as well, trying to get people to buy that, and then trying to, a lot of streamers or recorders may only have old Dazzles or capture cards. I know for a fact up here we've got I've got an Elgato capture card. I know Genesis, who streams from Underworld Asylum, has an Elgato capture card now. So we have two, and I know that TFU and a bunch of others have easy caps, which are going to be good for recording Melee. But I can understand the problem that comes along with that. But I do think that Smash 4 will help bring people into the scene as well, because that's what happened with our PM scene and our Melee scene, because people came in to play PM, and then were like, okay, I've never really played Melee before. Oh, Melee's actually really fun. Let me try playing some more Melee. And it was this sort of... I don't know how to describe it, the bottleneck effect, I guess, as to, not people being like, oh, I'm a PM player, I'm a Melee player, as to people becoming Smash players, as a whole.
I think that works, Henry, because they're still very similar games, and mechanics are very similar between them. The issue with Brawl in the past, with Brawl Melee, when Brawl was still first released, and it'll be the same issue with Smash 4, is if the game isn't that similar, the mechanics aren't that similar, you get that sort of division where players
I understand that completely. I understand that completely. I know that for a fact that there are people who prefer PM because their character works a certain way, and I think that I'm even guilty of this myself. I prefer the way ICs feel in Melee as opposed to the way most characters feel in PM. But it's a difficult situation, to be brutally honest. It's a difficult situation, but I think over time it will improve, and I think over time that, when more techniques are discovered for it that make it faster, and maybe hopefully integrate it more with Melee, and integrate it more with Brawl and PM and 64, if the 64 scene does ever reinvigorate itself in the UK, then, we'll hopefully move on from that.
Yeah.
But,
going back to what I was actually going to say is that...
sorry, dude.
Before we move on from Smash or DI3... obviously we've got to put some time in to say there was a Smash 4 3DS tournament. It was a much smaller tournament, 28 entrants, but it was still a coin-worthy tournament and quite an official thing, and it was taken by VWSGP.
So the tyrant.
To him. Yep, the supreme ruler of Smash2K. We're playing Sonic, as he claims himself a broken character.
He didn't say... I don't think he said Sonic was broken. I said Sonic has a few broken techniques which make him good.
No. He didn't say broken, sorry. He said dumb.
There we go. That's the correct way of phrasing it.
Yeah. Anyway, no shout-outs to him. Great placing. He was very pleased. I housed him that night, and he was very pleased with himself.
With Anarchy placing second, which I don't honestly think is surprising. I've seen... As somebody who loves Smash as a whole and who watches all sorts of Smash games from, ranging from 64 all the way up to Smash 4, I've seen Anarchy play both Brawl and PM, and he is a monster. He is so scary to watch. An example of this is an old Manchester Monthly Regional, which I don't know what happened to those. Not very monthly. But I remember seeing TFU when he was still a PM main, going there to play Anarchy, and Anarchy double 4-stocked him, 8-stocked him in total, and it was on stream, and it was horrible. It was just awful to watch. But, it demonstrated how strong Anarchy is. I think, with his placing in both PM and in Smash 4, it just sort of, emphasizes how strong of a player he is.
He is. He's been around for a good many years. It also indicates that these old school Brawl players are all moving to Smash 4 now, because that is... It is quite close to Brawl Smash 4. I think everyone's got to be there, at least at the moment. So a lot of the old school Brawl players, and this isn't just in the UK and in America as well, are moving now into sort of becoming Smash 4 players, and they're the ones taking the tournaments.
Yeah, exactly. And the Cats, Nairo, all putting in work. Yeah. Massive amounts of work.
Also, shout-outs to the third place from Severe Calamari, who's a guy I met. he turned up at a PM, the last PM monthly, which was just before I started making these tournaments official. And yeah, he's a decent PM player. I've never seen him play Smash 4 because I don't play Smash 4, but good on him if he does. If he's very good at that game. I was
placed higher than Wills.
He did, yeah. He plays. I was told by GPs he's very solid. So
fair enough.
Good on him. I've still got his prize money. Severe Calamari, if you're listening to this, I owe you £8, mate. So because he had to leave.
Leaving the country.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Leaving with the £8, starting a new life somewhere. All right, so I guess now we can sort of
we'll move on now to Final Destination.
Yeah, Final Destination at Cardiff. I don't know a lot about the Cardiff scene. I don't know about the Welsh scene as a whole, but we've got Melee, 20 entrants, decent amount of entrants, more, and so we had in both PM and Melee. PM G placed third, Luke placed second, and Tab placed first. That was in PM. And in Melee, Chobos placed third, Harvey placed second, and G placed first. So,
if that is Harvey Carmen, then shoutouts to him. He's a really nice guy. I remember commentating with him at Air, which was a lot of fun. And he's putting some work in for the Welsh scene, so good on him.
Yeah.
TOing Final Destination.
All right, final result we need to go to is Smash Beyond the Wall, which happened in Perth, in Scotland, not in Australia. And yeah, I know for a fact we sent a lot of the NE guys up there just to play some matches, and we had really good results in Melee, which had 39 entrants, which is a really good size for a tournament. Which we had TFU from the Northeast placing third, Sox, very, very strong Samus, I think, from Scotland.
Correct.
That's correct.
Who did very good.
Oh, Ryan Sox is that?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, old school Ryan Sox.
Very old school player.
He's back from, 2003 when I started?
Damn.
I have no idea. He was old school when I just got into the scene.
Ryan was there from the start. So
shout out to Ryan.
Old school.
Alright, cool.
I remember playing him at Air, he beat me. He's very good. He's very solid.
Yeah, and in first, I remember some of the Northeast players claiming the prof of Scotland, Shifting Shadows, Josh placing first, very strong Falcon. Kate, he is King of the North in Melee, officially, took the medal. And yeah, Shifting Shadows, insanely strong player. I have so much, watching his matches and commentating his matches was some of the most fun commentating I've ever had in my entire life, because he's mental and it's brilliant. When he was playing Jin, very close sets, and just watching him was insane. And then moving on to PM, which had 38 entrants, which is still again a good number. UA Diabound placing third with his Wolf, Time Muffin placing second, and DCJ from the Northeast placing first. And I remember the hype that was happening in the Northeast Smash chat, because DCJ, this is, I guess not insider information, DCJ was sent into losers by Shifting Shadows, who was then sent into losers by Diabound, and then Shifting Shadows got knocked out. I think he placed fourth, maybe? I don't remember. Fourth,
I think it's lower than that. I think it's seventh, actually.
Maybe? Wow, okay. Well, he didn't place top three.
Yeah, Shifting Shadows placed seventh with Asiana.
Seventh with Asiana, yeah.
Oh, okay, fair enough. And then
we've got I'm just going to shout this out. Sorry, Henry. Maskless.
Yeah, go for it.
I've never heard of him, so I think you should get the shout. Maskless.
Oh yeah, shouts to Maskless.
Nicely done.
Yeah, and Pidgey also got fifth alongside TFU, so they all got above.
Pidgey's been around in the Scottish scene for a while, but congratulations, that man.
Yeah, so. I think I heard that TFU, because TFU doesn't take PM as seriously as he takes Melee, but he's still. I think he went back to Fox and PM, so he could just put in a fair bit of work and show a placing. But DCJ running it back through losers and beating Time Muffin 6-0 in grand finals. So congrats to him, man. I was so happy for Dale when I heard about that. So congrats to him. And in Smash 4, 12 entrants. Terranuke placing Terranuke, whatever. Placing third, Pidgey placing second, and Yakabine placing first. So good on to them.
Congratulations, those guys.
I like to say that DCJ, he must have been knackered, because he'd been at Smash with the Eye the previous day and flown up to to Scotland from.
Yeah, he travelled a lot just so he could go to those tournaments. He's desperate to travel, and that's what I think is great about DCJ. You know, not only the TO for our region, but also a large representative of our region because he wants to travel so much, and that is great. Like, I don't think any of us would get anything done unless DCJ was sort of there, you know, pushing us along and making us do things. So let's talk about some upcoming tournaments then, shall we, fellas? So we've got Spot Dodge happening in Bristol on November 30th. I don't know if any of you are going to that. I'm personally not.
No, I won't be going, unfortunately. It's too near the end of the month, and we have a smaller event happening in the Midlands. But wish Marcus all the best in running it. Looks to be a very full event. Melee singles, doubles, PM singles, and doubles Smash 4 as well. So there'll be a lot to do on that day.
Fair enough. Yeah, man,
that's challenging.
That is very challenging.
It'll be a test of Marcus.
Mm.
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely.
And now, Lorenzo, do you want to talk a bit about Meltdown Circuit 2?
Yeah, the Meltdown Circuit 2 is going to be happening next Wednesday, which is Wednesday the 19th. So far, it's going to be a pretty serious event. So far, I've got quite a few confirmed entrants. Prof's going to be there again. We've got
taking all your money.
Yeah, taking all our money, of course. We've got JJ Linyard also, who was supposed to be there last time, but flaked to the last minute. Hopefully he won't do that again. Mr. Severe Calamari, he's a strong PM player as well, so I expect him to do fairly well. Bungle, another one of our upcoming London Roy players. Very, very good for him. I expect him in the coming months to be putting, some serious work in tournament placings. BAP, also a fairly fresh face. Yep, Bat, who's, he's crazy good considering how long he's been playing. And, provided he takes it seriously enough and doesn't just spend the entire time feeling himself, he'll be putting in real work at that. And I reckon I can see him, getting very high placing at the Meltdown Circuit. We've got Kazir as well. Shoutouts to him. Also another very strong Marth player from London. Very young as well. Like another, young up and comer. And, just aside from that, the only other person I've had confirmed, at least on the event page, is Mr. Kong Lee. And if he's coming, that would be fantastic. But I was under the impression he'd retired. At least until Smash 4 Wii U came out.
First I've heard of it, if he dropped out of it, he did very well at Air.
He did. He put in a massive placing at Air, but I think he's told me afterwards that he was going to take a hiatus for a while, and we ain't seen him since.
Yeah, that's the thing though, because Kong said that he was going to try and get up to King of the North when that happened in October, and then Ho For You came and he was like, oh yeah, Kong's flaked, and we were like, oh okay, Kong's not coming. Bit weird.
Yeah, no, Kong is I don't know what he's doing at the moment, but I think when I spoke to him after Air, because we were on the same train home, and he was talking to me about he had other projects he wanted to be concentrating on really, and he was thinking he'd be giving Smash a little bit of a backseat for a little bit of a while. Although I spoke to him again more recently because he was in my stream chat, and he said that he'd be coming back for Smash 4. So hopefully we'll be seeing something out of him recently.
He didn't finish at Heir to the Throne. He turned up to SDS as well, didn't he?
Yes, actually he did. Of course he turned up at SDS. That was I really enjoyed watching that tournament because he made Jelly very salty. Shouts to Jelly. So that is actually true. He wasn't.
He placed fifth.
Yeah, he wasn't.
SDS5.
He wasn't done at SDS, but we ain't seen him since. Sadly, he stopped coming to Meltdown. So hopefully he comes. It'd be great to see him. But otherwise, Kong, if you're listening to this, we miss you. Come back. So yeah. And yeah, moving on to Beast.
Yes,
the other
big one.
The big one, yeah.
I can also say now that I'm pretty much confirmed for that, and I am so excited. This is the most excited I've been in a while for anything, so this is going to be hype. I'm very, very excited to see you travel to Sweden and hope.
Is everyone here going?
I'm going, yeah.
I will not be, unfortunately.
Oh, that's a shame, Carlton.
Carlton, no.
Yeah, I'll be missing out. I'm gutted about it, but unfortunately there's not much I can do about that at the moment.
That's
Fair
a
enough.
shame,
You never
man.
know what your Christmas box will bring you, Colton.
Ooh.
Or Santa bring me tickets to Gothenburg.
Oh, you never know.
Oh my god. That's
Yeah.
See if I get you for Secret Santa at Smash Xmas.
Smash Christmas. Looking
Yeah.
forward to it.
Oh yeah, do you guys want to talk about Smash Christmas then, while we've got some time?
Yeah, Ed, it's your event. It's your brainchild.
There's not really much to say, to be honest, guys. We've rented a little cottage, cute, quaint little cottage up in the Peak District in the Midlands.
Where?
We've got about 24 of us currently, Midlands, a few others. I know that DCJ, Dale's coming down. And yeah, we've got it for the weekend. We're going to set up a load of casual setups. I've got some mulled wine that I'm going to put on. We're doing a actual sit-down Christmas dinner together in Christmas jumpers and doing a bit of Secret Santa and present giving.
Secret
Nice.
Santa, presents,
Spread it.
crackers.
Yeah, doing the whole thing,
All
spreading the
smashes.
seasonal love between the Smash players, yeah.
Nice.
Share the love.
It will be beautiful.
Sharing that love, yeah.
Fantastic.
Uh,
that's the sort of thing that I really like about this community, is the fact that we do all we can all act as a family.
Yeah.
Very nice.
It was a nice change for me when I came to the Smash scene over from the FGC, because in the FGC it was kind of like, yeah, not as friendly.
No, I found that actually. I mean, it depended on the individual. In fact,
Definitely.
When I was going to Street Fighter tournaments in London, but it's never been quite as accommodating as Smash.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Smash is...
Sorry, Ed, you want to say something?
No, you go on, Colton.
Yeah, compared to other scenes, not just in fighting games, other game scenes in general, Smash is much more accommodating, it's much friendlier, much more open, but even within Smash in the UK, I think part of our flavour in the Midlands, I think Ed would agree with me on this, is that we tend to emphasise our social aspect of it much more than most other scenes will do. A lot of TOs will emphasise the tournament, the competition. That has to come before everything, and we think
Obviously.
that's just not our flavour. It's not our style. We tend to prefer to be much more sociable about it. We've done that at most every tournament we've hosted. We've had, like, in the evening when it's all done, we've gotten everyone together and just had a drink and a laugh. At Heir to the Throne,
barbecue.
we had... Yeah, the barbecue has been a staple at all Midlands events. At Heir to the Throne, we had the pub quiz, if you remember that.
I really enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun.
That's kind of
Yeah,
what
it
we
was
mean.
great.
That is, kind of our thing. We think, tournament's fantastic. We love it, but fun as well. Sorry, Ed, carry on.
No, I was just going to say, picking up what you're saying there, Colin, is what our take on it, and especially mine and Colin's, is it's all about the community, and that's why even at this point, I'm 11 years still in this community. Is you put the community first, you put those people first, you're making friends through this community, and as a result, it keeps you involved in the community itself. So I don't see myself as running tournaments. I'm running events, and I'm running an event where it's for the community. So it's making it more than just playing games in a double elimination bracket. I'm going to run a tournament, but alongside that, I'm going to add other elements to this that makes it an event that everyone can enjoy the atmosphere that we're creating. And it's one of the reasons why me and Carlton try to run as efficient tournament as possible. If we finish it, we get to put more on for our friends.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just to go back to Air, I'll be honest. I was reminiscing about singing the stage themes the other day. That was a lot of fun. That and the blind play. I really should go back and try playing that again, because that was awesome. That was such a cool idea. That idea actually just came to us at the spur of the moment. It was such a good idea.
We had this weird idea, like, whilst we were making the pub quiz in advance, that it would be we'd lay it out similar to classic mode. You'd have 2 rounds of questions and then a bonus round. Like in Classic, you'd have 2 rounds of just regular fights and then a bonus that was outside of the regular rules. But we were missing one for the end of it. And then I think just before, within 5 minutes of the pub quiz starting, we were like, yes, blindfold tournament. Genius, do it.
It was amazing. And it was incredibly hype as well. Because like we were so scared that people were just going to run off the stage. Like,
let's see, but it could happen. But then again, it wasn't even about winning, losing. It's about everyone having fun and being a bit silly together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everyone enjoyed it, no matter where you placed. So as people grouping together and cheering for each other and having real fun outside of the tournament, which was fantastic. That's what we're all about.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. It was really nice. I really enjoyed Air.
I'm really sad I missed Air, but I'm not missing it next year. Air to the Throne, I am definitely going to be attending, no matter what. I'm going to attend that one.
Air 2 will blow everyone's mind.
The venue already just looks amazing. Like instantly, I'm like as soon as I saw the venue, I'm like, I'm sold. I'm going. That's the thing that's happening. Anyway. Shall we move on to some other news regarding Smash as a whole? We'll try and keep this as brief as possible. But the first one, these are 2 topics I think are kind of needed discussion anyway, because they are quite big things that have happened. First of which being, I don't know whether you guys have been following this. I kind of have been following both, but Carissa the Destroyer. Basically, for those of you who aren't aware of what happened, D1 tweeted out a Vine of him with a young girl saying that she was destroying amazing Smash players such as I can't remember who they were. Exax.
Zex as well. I watched some of the footage.
Yeah, and also himself as well. And recently, what has been unearthed is an email to, I think it was to just a general email asking for people to come down. And the premise of a scene, almost, of them being beaten by this young girl. Now, this has stirred up controversy because, people were saying, it's D1 actively lying. People, argued it was D1 actively deceiving the community for monetary gain. And opinions have been very split on this. I know exactly where I stand, but I was just wondering, first of all, where you guys all stand for this.
As far as I'm aware, it was put on, I think, by GameStop.
Yeah, it was a GameStop event.
But I mean, no, not the event, the whole stunt itself.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
Because basically, I mean, what I did read was another player, and I can't remember who it was. It might have, but basically, another of the guys who was there, who was basically saying he had actually noticed that there was another GameCube adapter plugged into the Wii U that was passed behind a curtain, and basically there was clearly someone back there we don't know who it was, and he refuses to say, but who was playing for her. Because it was unearthed that this little girl, like, she has a website, she's a child actress, and instantly, like, that screams, staged.
Yeah.
And it evidently was. So shout outs to whoever was doing that, because I saw some of the footage. They were playing really well.
Credit where credit's due.
Yeah, I don't think it's deserving of hate, really. Like, it's just supposed to be, a bit of fun, I think. Yeah. And also to drum up some hype. And it did do that. Although I think a fair few people were skeptical, and obviously it clearly drummed up a lot of salt. I think that's the reason. I think that's the reason that some people got really quite worked up over it. But hey, look, like it happened, and it probably did. Hopefully, it made some of these Smash players a lot of money. I think it's some money.
Yeah, supposedly D1 was working on $350 an hour, supposedly. And if that is correct, then that is, I would do a lot worse for that amount of money.
Yeah,
to be honest with you.
What would you do, Henry?
That's not discussed, Ed.
You brought this up.
Come on, Henry.
This is for the After Dark portion of this show. Anyway.
Oh my.
Off the battlefield, After Dark, coming out.
The after show. Yeah, but Carlton Ed, I know you guys, I don't know where you both stand on this whole thing as a whole. So I'd like to hear your opinions on this. Both of you being TOs.
It's I don't know. Firstly, it's the first I've heard of it, which I
fair enough.
For.
No, it's fine.
Yeah. Hearing about it, I get that it's a publicity stunt. As someone who's worked quite hard to publicise my tournaments in the past, I think it's the completely wrong way to go about it. I want people to have trust and respect in me as a TO, and I don't perceive this as being the way that you should get that or go about running an actual event, regardless if it's small or large. Secondly, I find it a bit bizarre that they had to go about it in terms of choosing a young lass, which I think speaks volume as to the mindset of the people behind this idea. And in that sense, I also think it's not on. So either way, it's just not needed.
Yeah, I think I've got to agree with that actually. Like I guess if you look at it that way, it is a little bit grotesque, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Carlton?
My views lie in kind with Ed's. What D1 has essentially done here is he's in a position of trust in the community, and he's taken money to lie to the lot of us. I don't think that is healthy. I don't think it's good. I think it is I think it will break a lot of trust that people have in him.
Yeah.
And given that he is a commentator as well, he's one of the faces of the community. I think that's doubly damaging. Again, addressing the person that they've chosen, this Carissa as it were, it does speak a bit that we find it also shocking, so amazing. We have young players already in the scene. We have like Alan Angus. We have Emma Morgera, who's actually doing well.
No, shout-outs to Emma Morgera. He is another up-and-comer. He puts in work.
Yeah.
The fact that it's just all it takes is a young girl to get some interests, to get this massive outpouring, that speaks a fair bit. But I think the biggest part to take away from it is, D1, not cool. Sorry, dude.
Yeah, I agree with those points, but coming from a sort of mindset of somebody, who's fairly new in the scene and who understands, though, that he is in a point of, he is one of the faces of the Smash scene, I have to say that despite this being a slight, I guess, not abuse of power per se, but just sort of...
Yeah, it is.
Oh, okay, fair enough. But, I think personally, that though it is bad, know that there has, it is going to, shake the Smash scene up a bit. I think there have been some things that have happened in the Smash community as a whole, which are a lot worse compared. And I don't want to,
there have been much bigger scandals, much worse things that have happened.
Yeah, and two of my examples of them being. Yeah, two of my examples of this being, the Pound 5 incident, which I think we're all aware of, even if you don't know them, you've heard the stories of, Plank and his TOing and his sort of shadiness behind all that. And even then, Zelgadis at Genesis 2, who attempted to steal the prize pot of, I think it was close to $6,000, which is a lot of money for a prize pot. And, I don't want to play the sort of comparison game of, this is worse because X, Y, and Z. I don't want to play that game. Because I don't think it doesn't get us anywhere. But I do think that on a grander scale, I think that this may affect him a little, but not as much as it has, these other incidents that have occurred.
It'll blow over. It's a publicity stunt. People are going to be very irritated in the short term, but
in the long term, it won't.
The amount of time that he's been this face, this commentator, this recognizable person within our scene, it's not going to be anything lasting.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, just to give a little bit more background, I mean, it wasn't just D1 putting this tweet out. I mean, that sparked, the reason that this got a lot of attention, really, is that, I mean, it was organised by GameStop. Or I don't know who it was organised by, but clearly it was officially organised by the bods there, because otherwise they wouldn't have been able to set up this, this elaborate hoax. But someone, and it wasn't D1, but one of the players there captured some of the footage on his phone. That's what got everyone that's what exercised people a bit more, because they actually got to see some footage. And he captured about 20 minutes of footage, some really strong looking play actually. Like, it looked really good. And I mean, I felt really bad being skeptical. I mean, I saw posts, like the first I heard of it actually was Zero posting saying this is all a little bit too, like, everyone's a little bit too in sync with their reactions here. I think there's something's up, really. I hope I'm wrong. That's what he was saying, but it looked something's up, and turns out he was right. So, you know, they didn't use a fake name for this girl either. People Googled her. They find she's a child actress, and she has a website of her own. And hey, I mean, look, at the end of the day, like I think it probably got it had the effects they wanted. It's just that they probably weren't banking on it. I don't know if they were banking on it being found out that quickly. But hey.
Yeah, if you're going to lie well at least.
Yeah, exactly.
At least put in the effort.
You know, exactly. And just on the topic of, I guess, scandals or issues going on, no PM at Apex?
Oh, okay.
This is the dirtier one.
This is the much bigger one, because this has not only had the sort of backlash of the community, this has had the backlash of having one of the strongest members of the community, the co-host and co-founder of Apex, Alex Strife, stepping down from Apex because of this backlash and harassment that has occurred in terms of himself and in terms of his colleagues on the Apex staff, including the Brawl TO there, being, you know, sent rape threats and death threats. And this is what really appalled me the most, these threats, because this is not what the Smash scene is about. I would expect this of other communities per se, and, you know, other scenes, but definitely not Smash. Smash is definitely, it doesn't have the stigma of a violent or disgusting scene, and the fact that Alex Strife has worked very hard in the scene, and just because, you know, we're not getting something that some people would prefer, that is the reason that they're getting so, you know, just aggressive about this. I don't really think I've ever seen, you know, Smashers, except for a certain, you know, select few, being this aggressive. But, you know, as, you know, Carlton and Ed, as TOs, I'm really interested to hear what you think of this. I've
never come up against this kind of harassment directed at me, and I wouldn't expect it to happen in any scene. I wouldn't want it to happen in any scene. It's completely disgusting, revolting, and not only is it not necessary, not wanted, but it's going to be completely counter to our own interests. To spew out that kind of vitriol does nothing but label you as being immature and incapable of reason, I think. Ed, what's your take on it?
Sorry, Colin, what was that?
Do you know about Alex Strife, one of the co-hosts, co-TOs of Apex, is stepping down because of death and rape threats sent to him and his friends?
Yeah, I've heard about this. Obviously, I just heard what you were saying there. I don't know what to take with it, to be honest. He obviously made a very brave decision, and the consequences obviously don't match the decision he's made, so I understand why, as a TO, he would take himself out of that situation. I personally really hope I hope it's not going to factor too much on Apex as a whole. I mean, I feel really bad for him. Like, it was, you know, it's a big decision to make, and I personally wouldn't have been happy about it either. I'd have liked to see PM there as well, but hell, am I going to start threatening him, or, you know, his or his close friends or relatives or whatever? That's just not on. And I mean, yeah, go on. Sorry, Lauren. No, go for it. It's up to you. No, I don't know, without seeing the evidence. I don't know if this is one person or it's many people. Regardless, it's not right if it was just one person. But I think you'll understand this, Lawrence. I know Carlton will understand this as well. The amount of pressure as TOs we are under anyway when we are regularly hosting tournaments. And I know that I go through a lot of stress. There's a lot of pressure. There's so much effort and time I give up to TO. The last thing I need is anybody throwing out negative comments. You know, I'm doing it for the good of the community. And if you look in the UK, the amount of TOs compared to the amount of players, it is obviously much smaller. There's not many of us who are willing to go to the degree to host tournaments regularly. So, from my point of view, if I was getting regular, negative comments, I would do exactly what he's done. And it's not even to the case of someone threatening my family. Just as a TO, I'm there for the community. I don't need people to put on additional unnecessary pressure.
Yeah, you expect some gratitude, don't you? Quite frankly.
Well, gratitude post-event if it's good enough, but pre-event, you're trying to do it for them, for the community. At that point, there shouldn't be such an outrage, and not to that degree.
You want support before the event, and you want an honest evaluation after the event.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
A thanks if you did it well. If you didn't do it well, then, thank you for your time, but, this could have been better, that could have been better.
And that would also encourage people to improve as opposed to step down.
Agreed.
Yes. Yeah. Like, we know the PM decision is brave. Personally, I don't agree with it because we are a grassroots community. I think it should have stayed. But people shouldn't have kicked off like they have.
Yeah, that's the argument some people are making as well. Like, maybe if, we're losing PM, maybe we're getting something a little better. Maybe we're getting support from a bigger sponsor. And I remember seeing a tweet from Esam saying, Esam is a very brutally honest person, and I think that's what I like about Esam as a person. And he even tweeted out saying, it's a modded, frankly, it is a mod of a game, and the only reason that things like, Dota, which was originally a mod, was taken seriously is because Blizzard believed in the community, whereas for a long time we haven't had that support from Nintendo. And I guess people are arguing that we don't need it, which is understandable, but every little helps, to quote a famous advert in the UK.
Every little does help, but if Nintendo support, and I know that Tom Scott and Bowie have sort of, they've had potential interest from Nintendo, but if the Nintendo interest doesn't benefit massively, then I don't see the need to chase it. So in this instance, does what is Nintendo supporting or giving in terms of sponsorship for the event that actually outweighs having PM there? And personally, I would probably judge that the support is not going to be worth it.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's an interesting topic, I guess.
Yeah, I think our Apex, the TOs, just enjoying the fact that they can say they're sponsored by Nintendo. If they're not given much more than that, I personally as a TO wouldn't want that. I'd rather do it for the community, not just to be able to say that my event is supported by this company.
Yeah, I think I've got to agree that I'm not sure it was the right decision to axe PM. I'm not saying I don't think I do agree with his decision. He may have other reasons as well. Actually, I'm not sure about that. I mean, it would be a real.
Yeah, he hasn't come out saying like specifically why they're dropping PM or any of that. And the fact that there has been instantly this backlash is frankly shocking, because we haven't got the full details as to why. We don't know the full reasoning, and people are jumping immediately to conclusions like, maybe you just want PM to die. I don't think anyone in the Apex staff wants PM to die, considering how long.
You can't see them not running it, Henry, unless they've been told not to run it, which
Yeah, that is true. That is very true.
So in that case, it's a decision they've made, and it's a tough decision to make.
It is a hard call. It is a very, very hard call. Speaking of grassroots communities, 2,000 members on the Smash2K Facebook page. That is a pretty massive milestone, to say the least.
Yeah, congrats. Well, good on.
How many of them are catfish?
Tom Scott. I think that Tom Scott looks pretty suspicious. Why has everything got to be in the commercial thread, Tom? Huh? I don't know. That was a dumb joke. Anyway, 2,000 members in the Smash2K Facebook page, I think, is a massive milestone. Tom Scott, GP, has already put a massive thanks post. So, yeah.
Shout out to him. Shout out to everybody here who's in the community, and I'm hoping for another 1,000 soon enough.
Oh yeah, definitely. The rate it's increasing, then more than likely, really. So I think that has just about covered everything we need to cover, gentlemen. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening into episode 2 of Off the Battlefield and showing your support for Off the Battlefield, which I forgot to mention, because, I've seen throughout the week people getting hyped for Off the Battlefield, and that, it makes, it's nice. It's nice seeing that little bit of hype for something that, myself and Lorenzo, well, I can't speak for Lorenzo, obviously, but I love doing this. I absolutely love doing this.
Oh, yeah,
it's
I do as well.
A lot of fun, a lot of great information. Ed, Carlton, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yeah, just before we end it, of course, like, do either of you have Twitters as well that we can shout out? People should be following.
I'm getting old. I no.
I know that's the first line of your explanation. Just, I'm getting old.
I'm getting old. Just this social networking stuff's going over my head like lads. Okay, so
Fair enough.
I learned how to do Skype today. This is my first Skype chat, so I'm pretty proud of myself.
Hey!
Yeah.
Nice and shut, Ed.
Mazel tov. Carlton?
Yeah, I have a Twitter, the ever so imaginatively at Carlton Gaunt.
Amazing.
He just made that up.
No, that is actually my Twitter. I've had it for a while, I just don't tweet.
I'm not gonna lie, I did search up because I got asked by Sir Aaron if you have a Twitter, so I was like, does Carlton have a Twitter? Yeah, he does. Wow, at Carlton Gold, 2 tweets, nice, like it.
Yeah, I don't go on there that much. I should probably use it.
More than me, Carlton.
Yeah. Anyway, of course, my Twitter you can follow at Wobbling Skrull, Lorenzo at Lorenzo the Kind.
That's right.
That is correct. Yeah, tune in again in 2 weeks' time, guys, and we'll have another episode for you. Thank you for your continued support and your continued support of the scene as a whole. Thank you, and yeah, goodbye.
Love you all.
Thanks.
Bye bye. Thanks for listening.